Apologize for the technical difficulties. We're waiting for everybody to get into the room. I am the H-Town Vet. We would like to welcome you to our channel. Let us know if you can hear us. As you come into the room, let us know your branch of service, the state or country that you're living in. If you can hear us, let us know. Mic check, mic check. How's the music? Okay, we got one in the room. Can you let us know? Please let us know your branch of service or the state or country that you're living in currently. All right. Let us know. We got one in the room. As you come in the room, let us know your branch of service, state or country that you're from. Also, while you're in the room, if you are a dependent or a child, let us know, of a veteran. Let us know that also. Okay. As you come in the room, let us know if you can hear us. Okay, we got a few people in the room here. Okay. Kevin back. Okay. U.S. Marine Corps, Memphis, Tennessee. Go Steelers. Well, you know, I'm a Texans fan. I haven't watched them lately. You know, they've been disappointing to me. Now, let me know, Kevin, if you can hear us. We had some technical difficulties and we had to stop the live stream earlier. Let us know if the music is okay, if it's too loud or too low. Let us know. And we're waiting to reach critical mass and get a few people in here again. And like I said, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Okay, I can hear you. Okay, we're doing good. All right, we're moving along now. Kevin, we're going to give it a few seconds here, a few minutes, till a few more people get in here and we're going to get started. We got some good information to put out today. Well, Kevin, I'm an Army veteran. And of course, I'm an H-Town vet. And right now, I'm living in my home state. Okay, we're getting some people in here. Hit that like button. Did you hear what Evan said? He said, hit that like button. Oh, Evan, I'm starting to like you already. Please do that. Like, share, and subscribe, because we're trying to keep this going. I'm investing a lot into this because I want to put out information that nobody else is putting out in ways that they're not. There are a lot of people out there doing good things. They're doing great things, but I want to bring something different to the table. You understand? My goal is to make it practical, step by step, that you don't have to go behind no closed doors to no secret rooms to get the information that you need to win your claim. I'm going to give you step-by-step examples of what you need to do to win a VA compensation claim, whether that claim be to add dependents, because sometimes that can be a problem. Let us know, Almighty, because I know you're always here, Evan, and we're glad you're in the house. Let us know where you're contacting us from. All right? Please let us know your branch of service, state, or country that you're living in right now. Okay, he say, I'm 70%. Well, Kevin, if you are 70%, have you filed for unemployability, or do you still plan to work? Evan, like before, Evan's in Houston, Texas, like me. I just left the north side, Evan. I got my oil changed today. Navy. And yeah, we're doing this. I know we're kind of familiar with some of you, but this is for the new people that's coming into the room. Hopefully, we can get Yen Lin back in. She was in earlier, but the live, I had problems with my audio, and I apologize for that. So we want to get started in a few. Oh, we have to, well, that's critical math for me. All right. As you come into the room, please let us know your branch of service, state or country that you're living in. If you're representing a family member that's a veteran, if you're a dependent, let us know what branch that the military member was in. Okay, do that for us. Thank you, thank you. My sound technician said I'm doing all right. I got 10 claims in high level review waiting on a decision. Okay, now here's the thing. Don't get confused sometime, Kevin, when they might say that you have the condition, but they might deny one part of it. So don't get confused. They might service connect it for you, but they may not say it was caused by what you're saying. So that's why we're going to go over this. We got some powerful information to put out today. All right. And I apologize for the technical difficulties as you come in. Please give us your name. Your branch of service, state or country that you're living in. Let us know. Give us a shout out here. Now we're going to go ahead and get started. We got the branch of service there. Now, this is a live stream, and I am the H-Town Vet. Today, we're going to be talking about what? The winning formula for VA disability claims. There is a winning formula. We told you how to win the claim. We gave you the structure. Now we're going to take that structure that we talked about in the last live stream, and we're going to apply it to real life. We're going to give you an example of how to use evidence backed up by VA law to win your claim. That's our goal here today. Now you say, well, I got my benefits. I don't have to worry about those things, H-Town Vet, because I got mine. Well, remember, you have to maintain them. It's not just getting your benefits. You need to be aware of what the benefits are, and you need to know how to protect them, because the VA is continuously attempting to change laws. And they say it's for the betterment of the veteran, but I beg to differ. All right. Now, let's see what we have here. We got somebody in the house. Oh, Lord. My father was World War II vet, and I served in OIF, both of us, U.S. Army. All right. Okay, now, big facts. Now, that's what I'm talking about today. And this is, listen, we got some real knowledgeable people. Yen was in a little earlier. Hopefully she comes back. She did tell me my sound wasn't right. I'm getting familiar with the technology, so please forgive me when I'm not able to do that. But we're going to be actively involved in this. Okay? Now, what we're talking about, the only way to win claims, there are no secrets. There's no mystery. You have to have evidence that's backed up by VA law, and that's when your paper come in. Let's see what we got. We're gonna do a few little things here. We like to get shout out. First, we want to say Kevin said that I am 70%. Okay, Kevin. And then we got Evan Almighty. He's from my hometown of Houston, Texas. I was born and raised. Proud of that. Evan is Navy. Then Kevin says, I have got 10 claims in higher level review waiting on a decision. What you need to do, you need to continuously monitor that. Pay attention to what's going on with your claims. Don't sit back passively. Remember, we're always preparing for the next step. So we're going to give you some information today that you can use as a template, that you can apply it to whatever disability that you're filing for. Okay? I'm doing this. My team as the H-Town Vet, we're doing this so that we can take out all the guesswork, because sometimes the VA makes errors. Now let's see what Kevin say. Big facts. Yeah, that's Kevin. Now let's see Bernie in the house. Army, I can hear you better now. Thank you. Bernie wasn't a little earlier, and I appreciate you for coming back and y'all being patient. Hope we can get Lynn Dale back in too. Now, here to learn more about the process. Kevin, well, you've come to the right place, because our goal is to give you that information, and you can take that information, you can watch this video over and over, and you're going to learn something every time you do that. You know why? Because we have people like who? We got people like D-Law in here. Just be aware, some of the regional offices ignore evidence and VA law. We have to be aggressive with these jokers. Now, do you hear what? That's why we have D-Law here. D-Law is my right-hand man. We need this information. And you need to understand, that's what he's saying. You can put the evidence, you can make it plain, but what you do, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the next step, the high-level review. You're going to make them look foolish when they deny your claim if you have all your evidence organized. Because like D-Law say, you can do it all the right way and they'll still deny your claim. I have claims I put in, the information was disorganized and they approved it. You know, I was going through a little mental health crisis at the time, but that's a story for another day, right? Now, trust me, I checked. That's what you got to do. Now, let's see. D-Law, I live in Memphis, but was born and raised in Chicago. Let me tell you my favorite song about Chicago. A singer, he passed away in a plane crash. He wrote a song by Bad Leroy Brown. You hear me? And that was a song when I was a child in the 70s that I used to hear in the early 70s. And that was, you know, he wrote it in honor of a veteran that he served with. See, many people don't know that the gentleman that wrote that song, he wrote it about a black man that he was in the military with who had left an impression on it. And his name was Leroy Brown. Now, Kevin, me too, D-Law. I hear you. Oh, both of y'all from the same place. Hey, y'all told me when I come up there for some of that Memphis barbecue that I got to be ready, huh? I hope my people show me love. They gonna show me love. Now, I do want to know also, is there anybody in here, if you don't mind telling us, put a RM if you're retired military at least 20 years? Let us know, and we want to appreciate you for that. Let us know. Just put a RM, retired military. Now, Kevin say definitely. Now let's get to it. Now, we're going to be dealing with this formula. And I want y'all, if y'all see something that we can add to the way that I present this information, we need you to tell us that in the chat. Let us know in the comments on our channel, because we're here to try to improve the methods that we're doing, okay? Our whole goal is to make sure that we make it plain and simple for every veteran that want to get their benefits. They know how to properly apply for them. Now, this video is one of my YouTube videos, but it's part 2. The formula, the winning formula for VA claims, that's part 2 to another video we had. Okay, this is part 2 to the video that we had dealing with holding VA accountable to VA law. And that's part 1 of the video right here. So check that out, because it was so much information that we had to put out, that we needed to make sure that we covered everything. So I broke it up into 2 videos. And the second one was the part that I put the formulas and everything and how we're going to make it work. We broke the code already. We laid out the framework of how we're going to do things, right? Now we're going to take that framework today in simple and simplistic terms. We're going to put it to use. We're going to apply it. You know, what Barry White said, we got to practice what we preach. Now, I want to ask you, if y'all don't mind saying, either you can tell me where you at when it comes to this range, or when it comes to disability compensation, or you in the, hold on, let me get this down. Let me get the banner down. Or you in the 0 to 20% range? Or you, that's the low range. I've come up with this. The low range was 0 and 20%, moderate 30 to 50%. All right, considerable from 60 to 90%. Now listen to what I'm saying here. I call 100% temporary, 100% high, but it's temporary. I call IU high, but it's temporary. The ultimate, what we're trying to get is 100% permanent and total that you can work with, you know, with no work restrictions, or TDIU, which is another form of permanent and total that you can, they have certain work restrictions, such as, and we talked about that in our last video, that you have, either you're working in a sheltered work environment, or you are working below the poverty level, which is about $16,000. So D Law said he's considerable. Okay, so what we're trying to do, that's a very powerful area to be at. But the thing is, D Law, and I'm glad you're working on it now, because you may be working on much younger than I did. I actually started getting my benefits around, I guess 40, 38, 39, 40, because I gave up when I first went in there in my about 28 or 30, when I was about 28, 29, I got discouraged and walked away. Now, remember, it don't matter what level you at, it's what we trying to get you to. And if you listen to this, whoever you have representing you, you're going to be aware if they're doing it right or not. All right. I missed that one. Let me see what we got going here. Now we're going to continue on. Always look back over this here. Now we're talking about a statement today. This is going to be a statement that you present. This is going to be a statement that you put in there, in addition to whatever else is in the evidence, because you're going to use this to organize your evidence, to consolidate your evidence, and to present it in a simple format. That's the goal. Let's see what, I believe this is Kevin. I got to fire my VSO. That's right. All right. Now, are you just firing your VSO, or you firing your woman at the same time? Let us know, Kevin, which one of them are giving you more problems. Don't get in no trouble on here. Now, I want to ask, in y'all opinion, we need to do something. We need to come up with a checklist when we dealing with these veteran service officers or these people that are helping us. We need a checklist that we ought to come up with to find out if they're doing it right, huh? You know, that when we go talk to them, okay, check, okay, they're communicating with us well. When they say they submit something, they submitted it. So we need to make sure that they're following through. That's what we hear. We're trying to make sure. Now, let's see. Love my wife too much. That's right. Cheaper to keep her, Kevin. Cheaper to keep her. Now, I fired my one over 2 months ago. Listen, she might want to come back home. They always, when whoever's the one that's kicked out, They don't unresolved issues. She might be coming back. She might show up at your job. Now, but ain't nothing like having a good woman, which I ain't gonna lie about that. Now, we're talking about a statement. What statement we're gonna be talking about today? We're gonna be talking about a statement. This is the statement that we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about the supportive claim statement. All right, 21-38. I mean 21-4138. Do apologize. Now, I want to ask you, have you ever used this form before? If you've ever used this form before, put a Y in the chat. If you haven't, put an N in the chat. Have you ever used this when you're presenting your evidence? Because this is a powerful way, because you get to tell your story in the blank sections, okay? So that's what I want to know. Let's see what they're saying here. Okay, we got OB in the house. Okay, Kevin say he hasn't. Well, today, Kevin, you're going to be able to judge whether or not you want to use this. Let's see what my OB is talking about. Okay. It's you again. Hi. Hello. This is the H-Town vet, my OB. Now, you come in at the right time, because you can also look back over. We're just getting started. This is the supportive claim form. Whenever you have additional information that you're trying to organize and to put into a consolidated place, one form, this is what you can use. All right. You're welcome, OB. You're welcome. Now, this form, you need to make sure you have the most up-to-date version of this form. All right. It's a powerful tool when trying to win your VA claim. And we're going to show you why. When we're doing this here, today, what we're going to give you using this form, we're going to give you a template. We're going to give you a structure that you can use to fight for your VA claim. We're going to give you. Now, what does this help you do? This help you be consistent. When you have a format, because once you have a format, like when we were in the military, they had a certain standard operating procedure, SOP. So we're trying to come up with our own to make it simple and get the word out. Now listen to what Kevin said. Personal statements are very powerful tools. Yes, but you need to know what you're writing, and you need to know how to write them, and you need to know how to articulate your impact. And remember those buzzwords. Remember we talked about the buzzwords? Huh? Never talk about, I'm just trying to get some money. When they ask you what you want, tell them you want your life back. You're trying to get restored from what was taken from you during your military service. Now, first thing you need to do is be consistent, because if you're not consistent with the VA, they're going to use that against you. They're going to say, well, you told us this. Anything that they can use as an excuse to deny your claim, they will. So everything that you say on your statements, they need to be the same thing. That's why you need to be honest. You can't tell them one thing on one document, then something totally different on another. Because once they catch you in a lie, they can use that against you. If you get confused, now let's see what. Look what D-Law said. Be consistent with what you tell the VA doctors, and also be consistent with what you tell your outside doctor. If you have an outside psychiatrist or one that deals with your physical or specialist, make sure you telling them the same thing of what's going on. Now, if something new arises, you need to let them know too. Now, from what I learned from D-Law and Yin, that you can actually communicate with your doctor on My Healthy Vet. Is that true? Now, that is a consistent way to keep putting your information out there. But make sure that when you go into that VA CNP exam, that you telling the doctor the same thing that's on your, okay, D-Law say you can. You tell them the same thing. You stay with what's going on with you. Remember, you're not there to tell them what's good with you. You might have one good day. That's not what you're there to talk about. You want to talk about the overall problem that you have. Because they say, you doing good today? Now, I'm having a rough time. You know, some days are worse than others, but it's never okay. All right? Because if you go in there saying, I'm all right, then they're going to put on there, you all right. Especially if you do it this way. Now, watch how slick this is. If you say, well, I'm doing good today, but all the other days I'm bad. You know all they're going to write on there most of the time? He said he's doing good today. They're going to leave that other part off. So you got to be real. Talk about like you talk with a mechanic. What's wrong with you? They're not talking about what's good. Because if you were doing good, would you be there? Okay, let me see. You say they do it all the time. Now let's see what D-Law. The secure message is being monitored. Now listen to what he said. Listen what D-Law said. They have to respond to what you send them. Now this is powerful. Let me tell you something about that. When you're talking to your doctor, that's one thing. But when you have documented information, they got to respond to it. They asked me a question at the VA that I'm not going to cover here, that they got a thing they ask you about something doing with my personal business that ain't none of their business. And I made sure that my doctor, when I had the live stream today, the reason I don't feel comfortable coming to VA, because they asking me about something that has nothing to do with my disability or getting treatment at the VA. And the doctor say, we're going to make sure that they don't answer you that question no more. You know why the doctor did that? Because I had it recorded on a live stream, like D-Law said. When I told them in person, they didn't listen to me. But once it's on a documented platform, oh, there we go. Now, be consistent. Stop being wishy-washy, meaning stick with your claim. Don't get depressed. Don't stop. Just stick with it. If you get denied, appeal it. You got a year to appeal it. Put that intent to file in, gather you some more evidence, because you don't want to lose that back pay date. You may think, you might I've let a year pass and I lost my appeal and I have to start all over. But you got to keep fighting for it. Okay? That's how you need to do it. Always appeal it. Never stop until they give you what you deserve. Now, be consistent, and also by being consistent, let me tell you something. That's going to speed up the time that you're getting things done. You're going to learn what works and what doesn't work by being consistent. All right? You're going to be able to organize your information, and that's what this supportive claim form is for. Now, they got to try, hold on. They're going to try, okay, they're going to get tired of me, and I am in it for the long haul. This is how you have to look at it. And this is why we're here to encourage each other. Okay, we're here to make sure that nobody give up, because I gave up maybe once or twice. I stayed away for a few years. And one day I went in there and I told them, hey, forget this. I don't, because I had injured my hand doing combat, but they said they couldn't do nothing. I say, I was in the middle of a war zone. I almost got my fingers cut off. And so I say, you know what? I'll handle this on my own. And so I was walking out the door, and a VA representative, actually at the VA compensation office, she grabbed my arm, said, you can't leave. I said, ma'am, you can't hold me in here. I said, you can't keep me. I said, I'm gonna handle it on my own. No, you can't go nowhere. I say, so now y'all don't want to give me anything, but you're gonna hold me hostage? She said, no. She wrote wrote 4 letters on a piece of paper. She wrote PTSD. I say, ma'am, I don't have no problems. All I have problems with is my fingers. And you know what? Here we are years later. I got my rating for PTSD. But I didn't understand what it was I didn't understand the nature of it. She could see things. And that's why you need to talk and collaborate with each other. This is very important. Be there, as he said, for the long haul. Now, we're going to give y'all an example of a supportive claim form and the importance of that form and how you can use this form to win your claim. Now, that's not going to always win, but you have the information documented. Now, let's go to the next. So how are we going to do this? We're going to do it like this. Now, when you come in here, like we said, please let us know your branch of service and your state or country that you're living in now. Please do that for us, okay? Now, if you're retired military, you 20 more years, let us know. Let us know that also. If you are a dependent spouse or child, let us know, because we got information we can help you too. Now, the important thing you have to do here, and I want y'all to understand, we talked about it in the last video. Remember the steps to winning a VA claim? You have to focus. You got to provide your evidence. You have to back that evidence up with VA law. And then what's next? You got to make the proper requests for your disability. You can't be asking for mental health stuff if you're applying for something dealing with a physical ailment. So your request has to line up with what? Your request has to line up with your evidence. So please know that. Now let's see what we got here. Oh, let's see. That's deep. I was hoping we're getting information out there. We hope. Now, my OB, there's no such thing as PTSD when we got out. You're right about that, OB. There was no such thing at the time. We didn't know what no PTSD was. I didn't know there were any such thing as VA benefits. I just got out and lived my life. If it wasn't for the fact that I had first thing I did, I went to Virginia, went to school. But if I didn't have a family to fall back on here in Houston, I probably would have ended up homeless, man. Because I have to be honest with you. Do y'all know? Let me ask y'all this. How many of y'all, when y'all got out the military, you had problems finding a job? Am I the only one? Put a Y in the chat if you did. Put it in the chat if you didn't have a problem finding a job. Yes, I did have a problem finding a job personally. I had to stop telling them I was in the military to get a job, because I don't know if it has something to do with me being in Desert Storm. Let us know in the chat. So remember, you got to focus. Okay. I hear you. My brother here, D-Law, was homeless twice. A large part of the homeless populations are veterans. Kevin didn't have a problem finding a job. Okay, Bernie said yes, like me. Problems had stopped telling anyone to get jobs. Okay, problems had to, let me see what he's saying here. So let's see. I had a problem. Okay. D-Law say he was homeless twice. Love to your brother, respect. Bernie said he had the same situation. Now, Kevin, what you had, one of them good government jobs? You're a hard worker. You probably went to the right area. I should have planned more when I got out looking for a job. Okay, problems had to stop telling anyone to get jobs. Yeah. So I had to stop telling people that I was in the military, and you're supposed to tell them. And then I started getting jobs. Isn't that a trip? Now let's see what D-Law say. I left Chicago and moved to Arizona to get a job with the state. Yes. And many veterans try to go to work at state jobs, whether it be with the prisons, driving buses, different things like that. People don't know the struggle that we go to. Now, see, Kevin said he went to work at a warehouse. Now, I did some temporary work at the warehouse while I was going to college. Now, that did help out. And really, I got my job by when I got the military by I was helping this lady, helping her with with her work because her husband asked me to help her. He worked at the college I went to, and he said, "Can you help my wife?" I helped her. Do you know that man got me a job? He walked up to Sears and his friend. He said, "Hey, he need a job." He said, "Well, he has one." That man didn't even know me, but because I had helped this man's wife, who I did know, he was a counselor at the college I was at, and he was a good man, and I'll never forget him. Never forget him. And that's why we have to be there for each other. Because a lot of times you got to understand things like what D-Law went through. People don't understand, well, why are you different? Why are you homeless? And why are you this? They don't understand the struggle. Now, let's continue. For more information, watch our video. This is what we discussed last time, but we also have a video on it, winning VA claims. And we're going to use these steps, right, to lay out our evidence. So I'm not just telling you theory. We're going to put it into practice. We're going to focus. We're going to use the evidence that you need to win your claim. Then we're going to back it up with VA law. And then finally, we're going to make the request. And we're going to use our hypothetical Mr. John Brown that we usually do. Now listen what he say. I was blessed to have a family to lean on. I left. I almost was homeless. I was living in what do you call them? Like a boarding house for a minute. You know, I wasn't totally homeless, but I guess you can kind of say I was. But I was fighting to come back around my family. You know, let's be honest, you know, this was the early 90s and I'm from the hood. So the drug epidemic hit, the crack epidemic hit my family heavy, man. You know, not I ain't saying a lot of people, but I have a very large family. There's a few thousand of us live here in Houston area. Big family. And my portion of my family had a couple of family members that was strung out on that stuff, you know. You know how it is. Now, if this video has been good so far, please like, share with others, please, and subscribe. We really would appreciate it. Now we're going to go to the first one. Remember we talked about focus? So the first thing we're going to do is focus. When we're filling out this, we're going over this form, the first thing you need to do is focus. You need to focus on what you're doing, what you're looking to do. Are you going for service connection? Are you filing for an increase? You need to know what you're trying to do. So this is important. So like we say, are you service connected? Now, if anybody in here, if you don't mind saying if you're not service connected, that's okay, because we're trying to help you get service connected. If you're service connected and don't mind saying it, it's up to you. You can put an SC for service connection. If you're not service connected, put an NSC for not service connected. Let us know so we can do what we can to help. Okay, he is all right. Now, okay, Kevin service connected. I think you said you were about 70%. Okay, I'm service connected. At this point, I'm 100% permanent and total. So I'll put service connected. Now Moby say no, still lost. Okay, but we're gonna work on it. We're gonna do what we can to help you. That's what we're here for. So H-Town Vet say service connected. While I'm talking about myself, a few issues there, right? Now let me ask you this here. Is there anybody in here that's trying to get an increase? Let us know in the chat if you're trying to get an increase. All right? Because all of us want an increase. Your rating plays a factor with state benefits in some places. In our state, it does. To get certain things, if you ever watch our video, the 20 benefits, the 20 Texas benefits for veterans and their dependents, like to be in the senior living, in the senior living area, you have to be at least 70% and you don't have to pay nothing. To get a total tax exemption on your property tax, you just have to be either IU, TDIU, temporary 100%, or 100% permanent total. But in some states, you have to be permanent total. Do you know, D-Law, what's the requirement for property tax exemption in your state if you're 100%? At what point? Some places, all you have to be is 70%, and they give you a total tax exemption on your property. Now, let's see. Okay, Cal. Okay, I see Kevin. I don't know what that means, but he said, hell yeah. Possible. He said, y'all want them increases, huh? Yes, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to aggregate. Let me see. D-Law, 100% in Tennessee. So, you got to be 100% in Tennessee to get the property tax exemption. Texas, you have to be. Now let's talk about it. Kevin, he threw a little mess in the game. He said Texas one of the best for veterans, and I believe that too. What other states do you believe is good for our veterans? Would that be? I heard Florida, Pennsylvania, and California. The issue I have with California is so expensive to live there. Now let's see what my OB saying. 70s. What's the senior age in Texas? Wow, 70. Now in Texas, now what state that you in, OB? I forgot. In Texas, I don't know how old you got to be. I don't think it's an age requirement. But hold on. John is in the house. Hold on. John is in the house. Currently IU, but want to get P&T. Now I want to say something to you, John. I'm glad to have you here, my brother. How many years have you had IU? I waited. See, this is what I'm gonna give you the game plan. If they schedule you for exam for your IU to see if they're gonna keep it, that's right. Before they give you that, you need to go and file for 100% permanent total or TDIU. Really file for 100% permanent total. They might just give you TDIU, which either one, that's a paid 100% rate. So that's what I did. I waited until I had my IU, which is a temporary 100% individual unemployability, temporary 100%. I waited until I had about 3 years and I gathered evidence. See, that's what you need to be doing right now. You need to be talking to the right doctors. You need to be talking to your doctors at the VA, getting feedback. So D-Law say, I guess the property tax thing in Illinois is 70%, which is amazing. I heard that. Now that's good. To get a total tax exemption in Texas, you have to be paid at the 100% rate. Indeed. Now, Kevin says that Florida and California are the best. Let me tell you, if it wasn't for those hurricanes, that's probably somewhere I'd be, because see, I live in the Houston area, so it ain't many bases. I got to go all the way down to San Antonio, all the way up to Fort Worth to get to a good military base. We got a small little base here. They don't even call it base. It used to be an Air Force base. Ellington Field, they call it. And they got a little shopette over there, but they don't have no full commissary. They don't have a full exchange. Now let's see. Now, John, you say it's not a year yet on your IU. John, you're talking to the right person, because I was in your situation. What you need to be doing is trying to get a private doctor, and we'll give you the information today, depending on what your service connected for, my brother. We're going to give you some information on how to get that evidence together. You need to talk to your doctors, but before you go to them, we need to make it plain. Now, we got somebody new in the house. I don't know who is this here. Old Spray. Callie, you have to be 100%. They have kids too, standard and low income. Okay. Now, I saw a lot of homeless veterans laying out in front of the VA hospital. It's like in California, it seemed like you have to wait until your turn to go in there. Do they have housing in LA the VA in LA, I believe it was, do they have housing for veterans that they can live in the VA? Let me know about that, Osprey. And I hope I'm saying it right. Let's see what D-Law is talking about it. Tennessee is not veteran friendly as Illinois, but it is more expensive to live in Illinois, especially Chicago. See, here's the trick bag. California has some of the best benefits for veterans, but it's expensive. Illinois, good benefits for veterans, but it's expensive to live. And you know we on that fixed income. So even though we might get the property exemption off our house, the average house costs $400,000 to $450,000 now. Huh? Unless your woman pulling in good paper, unless you pulling in your Social Security and some retirement from a job. Now, okay, my OB say that Cali hates veterans. How y'all feel about that? Any Cali veterans in the house? Do Cali show you love veterans? Let us know in the chat. Now, Kevin, Tennessee sucks. Well, y'all better watch my video because we're going to be going over it because I want as many as y'all that can come to Texas, come here. Now, I got one caveat. Texas is hot as hell. You're gonna have a light bill, partner. If you're not used to having air conditioning, John say, thank you, H-Town Vet. I appreciate you, John. I appreciate you, my brother. I'm going to do everything I can to help you, brother. Any questions you have, you let me know. Now, I got a question. Is it better? Stop. Kevin, I didn't get the full statement on you. I don't know what you were saying. Naval support, Mid-South Naval Base is closed in Millington, Tennessee, 20 minutes from Memphis. I'm going to tell you what they did down here. They started making them joint bases to keep from closing a lot of bases. Now, I'm going to start calling you Osprey. Don't be mad at me. Let me know if I'm doing it wrong. There are 5 VA homes in Cali. Oh, really? Now, do you know they have, VA homes? I didn't know that. So they got homes for veterans to look out for you there. So let us know more about that, because what you're going to help us do, Osprey, when we're getting out information, you let us know and tell us where to get the resource so I can put out videos about this, because I don't put out videos about other areas unless I'm thorough. I know Texas in and out. So when I present the video, I don't like half doing nothing. So that's what I need y'all to collaborate with me and help us out. And trust me, I will give you a shout out unless you don't want me to use your name, but I'm gonna let them know where I got it from, brother and sisters. I'm gonna let y'all know. You hear what I'm saying? We ain't trying to take all the glory over here. Now let's see what Osprey say. But you make more money in Cali. Okay, now that's the key thing. So yeah, it's more expensive to live there, but you make more money. Let's see what D-Law said. We're focusing right now. We're focusing on the evidence. We're focusing on getting everything together here. The VA hospitals are better in Illinois than Tennessee, from my experience. Why don't you're not considering going back to Illinois, D-Law? What is your problems with being in back in Illinois, the Chicago area, if that's where you're going back to? Not true. Cali pays for all my son's schooling. Now let me ask you this here. Let me ask you, Osprey. Please tell us. Did you have to go in from California? Because the way it works in Texas, that they pay for the schooling if you went in from the state of Texas. So when I come back, I get 150 credit hours. It's called the Hazelwood Act here in Texas. Because I'm 100%, my daughter get to go to school for free. She get her own 150 credit hours. If I was just a veteran that was what do you call it? If I was just a honorably discharged veteran, that I could give my hours to one of my children. But because I only have one, only one that I claim now, anything overseas, I don't know what you're talking about. You hear me? Now, Kevin, I want to what? Okay, I want to. Real talk. I am thinking about Dallas. He said he want to. I guess he think about moving to Texas. Let me tell you, Dallas is popping. Houston, Dallas really, I'm from Houston, but I got to tell you, when I went up to Dallas, let me tell you, I went up there to see the release of Microphone Check, this hip hop documentary, telling about the roots of hip hop. And I went to, come on, what's that? What's Oak Cliff? Man, I had fun over there with my people in the hood, man. We was chilling. I had never been over there, man. Well, I've been as a little boy. I went up there as a little boy, but I ain't never really been to Dallas. Y'all might have been to Dallas more than me. And I want to go to Memphis, man. I want to come up there and get some of that Memphis barbecue. Now, here we go. It's hot in Memphis too, but with humidity. Yeah, we have a strong humidity. So it might be here in Texas, especially where we live, it's kind of swampland down here in the Houston area. That's what people don't realize. It might be 90 degrees, but feel like 105. So we go by fear, because you could be under a tree sweating here. Now, if I was 100%, I would pack up and go back to Chicago tomorrow. Well, guess what, D-Law? We're going to stay at this until you get it. I started off with 30%. And it took me some years, about 5 or 6 years to get IU, and another 2 or 3 years to get permanent total. So we're not stopping until you get it. And you're going to move wherever you want to go. Okay, let's see what Osprey's saying. No, I came in from New Jersey, okay? All schools is paid for in California with a 10% rating or above. I have been a resident in California since 2009. Hold on, listen here, man. You said 10% rating? Hold on, man. Hold on, we got somebody in the house. Blue Navy. Have you been here before? Please let us know, Blue Navy. All right. My cousin is IU and catching hell in California, trying to make ends meet. Now, Blue Navy, do they know about all the benefit programs? Osprey, try to collaborate. Tell them some of the information that could be helpful for them if you only have a certain amount of money. Let them know some of the programs that they have. That's what we hear shared in the chat. Now, my master's thesis was on hip hop and the corporate America. Post 9/11 GI Bill, paid for it. Okay, now listen. They just put out I ain't trying to get sidetracked. They just put out the documentary, and it was started because everybody claiming that was their culture, but this all comes from the black people here in the United States. Matter of fact, hip hop music comes from the South. The rhyming and all that, the scatting and all that. Some of the first break dancers, when Thomas Edison recorded people, they were doing something that looked like breakdancing. There was a man that was moonwalking in the 50s. There were people that were rapping. I forget these brothers called Four Brothers, and they were breakdancing and doing things. And they had the Jubileers, a gospel group, who was actually rapping. So it's a part of our culture. And just like this is a part of our culture, military. How many of us go in the military? What percentage of African Americans, black people, go in the military? Because a lot of us end up there. Because I did it for opportunity. Now let's see. Are you seeking an increase? Now hold on. Why did I go back to that? I ain't mean to go there. Okay. Let's go to Kevin. Make sure you got an iron. I know. I'm glad you put it like that. Make sure you got your power tools. You understand? Hey, what's understood don't have to be said. I am 70%. I will never give up my daughter. Hold on. I am 70. I will never give up my daughter. Is dependent on me. That's right. Don't you stop. And Kevin, you and Osprey, y'all in the right place. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was 70% and got unemployability. But it took somebody helping me to do that. Now, yes, sir. Respect, Osprey. Now let's go on. Now, the first step is the focus. since I caught up on the chat, let's see what we got going. Let me see if I have any questions to ask you. Not yet, not yet. Now, dealing with it. So the focus, we're dealing with the hypothetical Mr. John Brown. You see his he got a B on his shirt, the hypothetical Mr. John Brown. What is his target? He wants 100% permanent total rating. So you need to write down what you want. You got to ask the VA for what you want. And Mr. Brown says, I want 100% rating. He's right now, he's 70% for post-traumatic stress disorder. There's no 80% for post-traumatic stress disorder. There's no 90% for post-traumatic stress disorder. When you go from 70, you go to 100. That's why it's so hard to get. See, you skip ratings when it comes to PTSD or any mental health ratings. They're all the same. Let's see what other information we got going here. I started off with non-service connection. Then it was switched to 70%. All right, that's good. We got a lot of people working around that 70% area. Let me tell you something. If you're 7%, that means you're more disabled than not. Now, Kevin, it comes from blues. Well, all of the music genres, blues, country music. Country music was made, that it used to be black hillbilly groups. I don't know if y'all know that. There were black hillbilly groups, but they only signed the blues groups. So country music, every person that was in country music, the Carter family, they went to black people and copied it. They matter of fact, a man who was missing one leg, he was their mentor. Hank Williams, his mentor was a man he was homeless. He was living in his mother's shelter, and he taught him how to play the banjo and everything. They just recognized him now. The first so-called country singer, he learned it from black people working on the railroad. He used to bring them water. They admitted all this because it was just like rap music. That was the only way they would be authentic, by telling the truth. But now they're telling, people that we can't, well, all of these music genres are ours, country and all. No, so that's the way it is, but that's for another day. We're going to get back on this. What is the name of that documentary? Microphone Check. They're going to put it back in theaters for a second run, and they have it in certain places. Okay, it's limited release, but they have the original people who came from the Carolinas and everything that started rapping. They did it based on, like James Brown records and different things like that. But it's very thorough because a lot of these brothers, they young. You got to understand, they just in their late 50s, early 60s. They just around 70, 71, they were doing this. Now, let's see Osprey, what he's talking about. Blue Navy, is he a military retiree as well? Okay. Well, we're going to see. I'm going to put the question back up. If he want to tell, he will. Is anyone 20 years or more retired? Put a RM in the chat, and we're doing that for a reason. Because if you are at least 50% or more, you can get both your military retiree pay and your VA compensation without there being an offset. And if you have problems where you have to, let's say you're 40% or less, and some of your money is going to your spouse because you have to split your retirement. If you take part of it as VA compensation, they'll get paid less if that's something you want to do. That's a right that you have because they can't touch your VA compensation. But that's if you're 40% or less VA compensation and have a 10 or 20-year retirement. We talked about that in another video. Now let's see. Let's see where we at. Okay, saying military retiree as well. Osprey said, no, he is not. And then Blue Navy said, yeah, that's tough though. Sorry to hear that. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Sorry to hear that. Now let's see what Blue Navy is saying here. I am moving to Arizona at the end of the month. I have been trying to get him to move there as well. So I'm assuming it's the family we talked about earlier. See what else he say? I went from 0 to 70% in less than a year. Let us know how you did that, Kevin. Don't keep these secrets from us, brother. Now remember, Mr. Brown here is at the 70% rate also. He's trying to get up to 100%. So you can learn something from this video. Now, let's move on. So the way this works is this here. Remember, look at the chart to the left of your screen, man with the pointing finger. Whatever claim most claims that you file are going to be what? Evidence-based claims. Now, I know that D Law, he tells us a little bit about claims that deal with presumptive illnesses. They are not necessarily evidence-based. You just need to be in country. But today we're dealing with evidence-based claims, meaning you have medical records, personnel records, you have documentations that back up your claim. Now, look, we're dealing with Mr. John Brown. If you have trouble seeing it, let me know. But we're going to go over the supportive claim form that Mr. Brown submitted on September the 3rd, 2015. And we're starting at the bottom. Focus of the evidence. What was the focus of his evidence? You can see it highlighted to the right. He wanted 100% permanent and total rating. 100% permanent and total rating. That's what he wanted. So look the way he worded it. Look at how he worded it, okay? This is important. I want you to hear this. Let me take this off the screen for a moment. Let me take this off the screen and give me a sec, because I want you to hear about it to see what's going on here. Now listen to what Mr. Brown said. He say, we are writing this letter. Let me turn the music down so I can even focus better. Give me a second. I'm gonna stop the music for a second. Now this is what Mr. Brown said. We are writing this letter regarding the notice of disagreement, which is an appeal. Back in the day, they call it a notice of disagreement. We filed dated August the 15th, 2014. Now look what he goes on to say. Look, this is how you need to word. I'm giving you the wording. This is what the H-Town vet came up with through struggle. And I had to learn how to do this. Listen to what he said. We submit additional evidence in the form of medical records, federal veteran law, and VA form 21-4138. That's the form that he's writing this on, okay? It is our position that the VA rating specialist must consider the whole medical record in their decision regarding a 100% permanent and total disability rating. Now, do you see what our argument is? We saying that, hey, they didn't consider it. But first, you don't say, hey, y'all didn't do this. You say, hey, you're supposed to consider everything. And then we're going to go down into the law in a minute. Right now, we're using the introduction to make our focus. So you want to break everything down and make it simple. Now, I want y'all to look at this video as many times as you need to. Now, let's see what, we got some other people commenting here. I missed, let's see, Arizona. Y'all moving with it. I better catch up. So we got that. Let me know if that makes sense. Let's see. All right, let me catch up. Challenger. Oh, it's nice. Okay. I'm just putting them on the screen. Blue Navy. My middle son just moved to Colorado with the oldest son. I'm considering the same, but I like Cali and the weather. I'm telling you. I heard that Cali weather is beautiful. Now, oh yeah, My Healthy Vet message option is a powerful tool also. So one day we might have to do something on My Healthy Vet. I just studied YouTube videos submitting my evidence. Okay, now, well, study my YouTube videos too. Because when you're putting your powerful statement in, that's a strong argument. Thank you, thank you. If you're talking about me, very strong. Now, do you see how he went about that? In his first paragraph, Mr. Brown told him what he wanted, and he told them what their job was. Now, he didn't just stop telling what his job. He gonna back it up with VA law. because what happened in his last thing was the doctor said didn't consider the whole medical record. So that's why he was able to appeal it. The doctor act like his diagnosis was the only one that mattered, not the other 5 doctors that Mr. Brown had went to. He said, oh, these other doctors have to be exaggerating. Only my decision matters in this, because he was going for permanent total. And he was saying, well, he does have the condition, but all these doctors can't be right. So the doctor was inexperienced. He was young. This is a real case. He was young, and he had only been in the medical field for 3 years, but he thought he knew more doctors that had 10, 20, 30 years of experience. All right. So, and guess where he was at? He was doing the CMP exam at the VA. So this doctor, a lot of times, have anybody had positive experience getting CMP exams done at the VA hospital? Let us know in the chat. Now, so let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Let's go on to here. Now, after you focused and we told him we want 100% permanent total, that's what Mr. Brown told him. Now he needs to organize his evidence, and that's what you need to do. Organize, okay? Let's see. He said, hell no. Okay, now I have a question. Okay, I have a question. Is it better to have a nexus letter or DBQ? So let us explain. Help him out. The nexus letter is just for service connection. If you are already service connected, that's okay. If you're not service connected, it would be good to have a nexus letter, or when you're in the CMP exam, the doctor might do to see if you service connected then at that time. Okay, because I didn't take my first service connection was 0%. I didn't have no nexus letter, but if you can get a doctor to do that, especially an outside doctor, and what a nexus letter is, showing a connection between your what? Your military service and what? Your condition. Now you see on this board here, how do you do that? If you notice the person, they organizing evidence, Mr. Brown has a Purple Heart. He has photos of some of his injuries. He has his DD-214 that shows that he was in country doing Desert Storm. Okay. Now let's see what he's saying. My CMP exams were better with the contractors. Yeah, the only one that I did with the VA hospital, it was horrible too. It was like Mr. Brown's. But the ones I had outside, I got, but people have had different experiences. But remember, the ones at the VA hospital work for the VA. You think they're going to be approving a whole bunch of claims? Now let's see what Kevin say. I might have to pay for one. Now hold on. Don't say it like that. You mean it? You just have to pay for the treatment, but the doctor is going to make their own objective opinion. Clean that up, Kevin. Clean that up. All right. I have the nexus letter for my PTSD, GERD. GERD dealing with, I think let me know if that's like acid reflux or something when you have trouble with your esophagus or something. Claims PTSD and GERD claims, but was low balled for my rating. They're gonna always lowball you. Angel is in the house. Our brother Angel is here. We glad to have you here. Angel, let them know your branch of service, and let them know. I'm trying to get Yin back in. I guess Yin has something to do. She was here a little early. It's okay. Let us know. But remember, for presumptive illnesses, they say you don't need a nexus. But if you're doing an evidence-based claim, like what we're talking about right here, you look at your problems list. We talked about that in the last video. And if you already have a diagnosis, you're going to put that on here on this chart. Okay, and back it up with VA law. Now, once you get diagnosed with an illness, the next thing you need to do is service connected. But if you go to a CMP exam, and if it's not diagnosis, the doctor's going to choose whether they're going to kind of do a nexus there, meaning they're going to either connect your service to your condition or injury, or they're going to say it's not connected. But if you already have it connected, they can still deny you. I mean, if you already got a diagnosis, They can say, yeah, you're diagnosed with PTSD, but it's not connected to your military service. So it works both ways, okay? So just because you have a diagnosis for post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, that don't mean it's service connected. The nexus is what brings it together. Watch our video. Let me finish what he's saying. If it's a presumptive condition or conditions, you do not need a nexus, but DBQ, which is a disability benefits questionnaire, are already helpful, always helpful. They are always helpful. I got speakers on, so it's hard to hear myself when I'm speaking. So I do apologize if my voice, sometimes my words don't come out right because I'm used to hearing myself. I have to get used to this. Now, the DBQ is the form that the doctor uses when they're evaluating whether you're going to get disability compensation or not. Or what they're checking for a few things. First, the nexus to see if it's service connected. So either they're going to get, if you don't have no diagnosis, they're going to give you a diagnosis or say you're not diagnosed with it. They might even diagnose you with something else. Number two, if you are diagnosed with it, they're going to see if it's connected to your service. All right. And if they find out it's connected to your service, the next thing that they have to do is see how severe the condition is. They work on the severity. Okay. Now let's see. GERD is acid reflux. Okay. That's what I thought, acid reflux. Now let's see what Kevin's talking about. I guess I got lucky. I got a nexus at my CNP exam. That'll happen. I got a nexus at mine. But if you can get an outside doctor to give you a nexus, but you need to make sure before you do it, watch our video, what is a nexus? So you'll know how to do that. That's a very simple video. Very few people watch that video, but I lay it down. That doctor needs to give their objective opinion of whether or not. That's why you need to take some of your military records, some of your records from the hospital at the VA. Don't throw a whole bunch of things at them. Give them the information that proves your claim. That way the doctor's not overwhelmed. You have to be realistic. But like we say, the ultimate goal for Mr. Brown is to get 100%. So he's getting his evidence and then he's backing it up with VA law. Number one, dealing with the Purple Heart, the injury in the military, he backing up with law 1. Then dealing with his photo and his DD-14, he's backing up with law 2. Dealing with his medical records and dental records, he's backing it up with law 3. Getting the picture? Is it making sense? Let me know. Now, let's move on. Let's do what we're talking here. All right. So what we're going to do, we're just going to highlight the evidence. So what we're doing here is highlighting the evidence that Mr. Brown, because he's going for 100% PTSD. So he went back and what did he do? He got his evidence together. Right beneath each goal area where the arrow's at, that's his evidence. But he lined it up with the law. He found the law, and then what did he do? He put his evidence from his medical records. He quoted it up under there. Now let me see. Can I get a full screen here? Well, I don't think I'm be able to make this bigger. So y'all bear with me. Now here we go. Static is showing no change or progress. So that's number one. This is part of the law he read up here. We're going to read the law in a minute. So we're going to kind of jump back. So that's the first piece of evidence. So he has evidence right beneath that. All right. So static showing no change or progress. Now look what the doctor said. The claimant's condition is active, continues to meet the full criteria for PTSD. Unable to work or maintain relationships. So he's still in the same place. Static means he's still in the same place. Is that making sense? That he's unable to maintain and still meets the same criteria. Nothing's went anywhere. So it's static. Static means that your condition has not improved. It's stuck in the same place. Now, yeah, if you get the word static in your, like D-Law was saying, let's see what he say. Okay, hazardous burn pits registry is key for Gulf War, right? Let's see what else he's talking about here. I had x-rays from my I mean, I had records from my x-rays from the VA hospital and x-rays from my chiropractor. I'm assuming it's an outside chiropractor. That's good. The static, the word is the home run hitter. If you get the word static, whether you have a 70% rating, 100% rating, and you're trying to make it permanent, that's what it is. Because that's saying that your condition is not likely to improve. But look what Mr. Brown, where he quoted his doctor saying, claimants can. Let's go up there. Let me read that. We're gonna let me how we gonna do this here. We're gonna go down to where it say we have right below the law. We're gonna go over the law in a minute. We have new and material evidence, including a copy of compensation and pension exam dated July 18, 2015. And look what he says, copy on file. So it's one that they have that they can see it too, but he submit one with this information also, even though they have a copy. Where a psychologist, PhD, Nate R. Turner Jr. describes the claimant's PTSD symptoms as. So now we highlighted the law right above it, static by showing no change or progress. So here we go. Claimant's condition is active, continues to meet the full criteria for PTSD, unable to work or maintain relationships. That means it's affecting your personal life. All right. Now let's see this. That's number one piece of evidence. Now we're going to go to some more evidence here in a minute. Now let's see what he's talking about. So we got 4 pieces of evidence. We just read the first one. Use the statement of support for SDI 2. So you can use the supported claim form for when you're filing for Social Security. Let's see what Angel is saying. Static indicates that the condition is expected not to improve. And they use terms not likely to improve. Okay, he's right. So your rating for that condition is permanent, no decrease. That's right. If it's static, it ain't going nowhere. Not likely to improve. That don't mean it's going to improve, and it's usually no future exams. Remember what we did on the VA code sheet. Now, so his first piece of evidence dealing with the condition being static. Now let's go to the second piece of evidence that he first quotes the law. You know, he kind of quoted out of the big jumbo piece of law we're going to talk about in a minute. But first, let's follow it. Okay? Follow it. Number 2, persist for at least 5 years without material improvement. So remember, did it persist for 5 years? Yes, Mr. Brown had his PTSD for at least 5 years, and it didn't get no better. So look what the doctor said. This is another doctor. He has been diagnosed with depression by Larry Bird doing compensation and pension exam dated 5/10/2010. So now it's 2015. So that's 5 years. And conditions continue to be treated by psychiatrist Dr. Umar Jackson at the Houston VA for depression and PTSD. Now, he was awarded individual unemployability back in 2010. So his condition has persisted from 2010 when he got IU and to the current 2015 where he's at now. So that's 5 years. If you had, now let me ask y'all, did y'all know this? If you have any condition that a rating for 5 years, they can't reduce you without 2 exams. Did y'all know that? They can't use 1 exam to reduce you. Once you've done the 5, you've had that rating for 5 years. Let's say you had, like in Mr. Brown's case, he had a 70% rating for 5 years. They can't reduce him without 2. If 1 examination is saying he need a decrease, they got to do another evaluation. And while they doing that, that's when you go get an outside doctor to do something for you also. This is important now. Now, let's go to his third piece of evidence that deals with the law. The law is in gold, permanent and not expected to improve, just like Angel was talking about. So let's see what his doctor say. So you have to be able to take the words that the doctor say and apply it to the law. Dr. Jackson stated in the Houston VA records dated June 19, 2014, and he quote, "The claimant requires continued psychiatric treatment, likely for the rest of his life." Now, how many of y'all have been able to get a doctor at the VA to say something like that? What does that say to y'all? If a doctor say likely for the rest of your life, what kind of rating do you think that that Mr. Brown should get if a doctor says that in his chart? Should he get the 100% permanent total? Should he stay a temporary 100% IU? Let us know in the chat. Now, here's the last piece of evidence, and this is the most powerful, 100%. Now, this the nail in the coffin. This don't mean they're going to approve Mr. Brown's case, but he got the evidence lined up. He got the evidence from the doctors lined up with the law. Now, let's go to the last one. Follow me here. At least one symptom reflects 100% rating. So we go down a little farther. We're going to talk about that. He has 2 of them, and we're going to talk about that a little later. The symptoms, this is the schedule for mental health ratings. So you need to know the schedule for your rating. We're going to get to this. Right now, we're just dealing with organizing evidence. We're going to go into more detail. We're going to be going over these 2 pages. We're going to keep it moving. Look what he says. Okay, good lie so far, but I got to head out soon. Go finish some homework. Keep up the good work. Frog Princess, we glad to have you in the building. Come back and watch the video when you get a chance, okay? Everybody show some love to Frog Princess. We appreciate you. Go get that work done, and we're going to get this lesson done for you here. All right, we'll talk to you. We glad you're in the building. Now, that 100% will get your student loans waived too, as a side note. Yes, it will. See, this is why it's important to get that 100%. Okay? Now, James said, you think he deserves 100%. D-Law say you think he deserves 100%. We're going to see what he got at the end, because this is based on a real individual. Frog Princess. All right. Show some love to Frog Princess. All right, peace. Peace, Frog Princess. We glad you here. We missed you last time that you wasn't here. We missed you. But our other sister came in. What was her name? I forgot my sister's name. She came in and she put some hot fire in here. Thank y'all. Now, here we go. All right, they showing you love, Frog Princess. Thank you. All right. I've been looking for Yin. I don't know where Yin is. She helped me out early because she said she couldn't hear me, but I was hoping she came back, you know. Now, let's continue. Now, remember what we just did. We got the evidence for each one. Now, the criteria for the 4th one here, you have to have at least one symptom. He actually has 2 symptoms: gross impairment of thought, process, and communication. That's the first one. That's at the 100% level. These are the symptoms at the 100% level. Persistent delusions or hallucinations. Mr. Brown don't just have 1, he has 2. So if you don't know this, the VA just gonna deny you. If you don't make it plain for them, hey, look, this is what the law said, and we're gonna go over that in a second. Matter of fact, we only got 2 more steps to do here. Let's go on. Now, the third thing is the VA law. Now we're going to go over the law. We kind of quoted the law in gold. Now we're going to go over the law itself, dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, how to get that 100% rating, how to get a static rating, how to get a rating that's not likely to improve, how to get a rating that has the symptoms at the 100% rate. So if you have back problems, you need to know the symptoms that they pay at 100% rate. If you have TBI, traumatic brain injury, you need to know the symptoms at that. So let's see. Okay, yin, and then we got frog. They saying peace out, and I said peace out too. Now, so the third, remember I'm still using the same structure. Focus, evidence. Now we're going into the VA law. So you need to use this as an example. Now let's talk about the VA law. So follow me here. So this is the actual 38 CFR. You see the law book to the left. That's it right there. Let me take down the post. 38 CFR 3.327 reexaminations. Remember, I told them they have to consider the whole medical record. So let's see what they cover here. Let's break it down. Let's see what they cover in here. If what we just got through talking about is in this law, I'm gonna kind of read it as kind of wordy and weird. So now look what it said. No periodic future examinations will be rescheduled. Let me say that again. No periodic future examinations will be requested. Now they're going to tell you how. In service-connected cases, no periodic reexaminations will be scheduled. 1, when the disability is established as static. That's right there in the law. Google is your friend. Look this up when y'all get it, and then you'll be able to look up the law for your condition, okay? So remember the key word, static. 2 people mention it. D-Law mentioned it, and Angel. And maybe a couple of y'all other was thinking about it. So let's see what the other thing is. Remember, we just covered that under the first rule, the first evidence, the static part we just covered, right? Now let's go to the second paragraph. When the findings and symptoms are shown by examination scheduled in paragraph, we ain't gonna read all that, of this section, and other examinations and hospital reports to have persisted without material improvement for a period of 5 years or more. Didn't we cover that up there? That he got his unemployability in 2010. Now he's filing for his 100% in 2015, 5 years later, and the doctors say his conditions didn't change, remember? Now, so that's important. Now, keep seeing your doctor. Don't trust the VA to do the right thing. Do not do that. Good, real good there. Now, we ain't seeing you, but we respect out to Yin if you watch this later, because she was helping me trying to make sure let me know my sound wasn't right, and I had to restart start everything. Now, here we go. Let's do the last little part on the first page. We're still on the first page to the left. Where the disability from disease is permanent in character. This is what everybody in here wants to know. You want to hear this. Where the disability or disease is permanent in character and of such nature, there's no likelihood of improvement. Remember, that's the third one. Look at the third one over on the second page, number 3. Permanent and not expected to improve. Dr. Jackson stated in the Houston VA records, we said on that day, the claimant requires continued psychiatric treatment, likely for the rest of his life. Isn't that what that law is talking about right there? Isn't the doctor confirming it in the evidence right there? That if you're going to have it for the rest of your life, do that mean you're going to improve? No. All right. Now, let's go over to page 2. Now we're going to talk about page 2. Number 4 is covered. Number 1 through 3 is covered on the law dealing with page 1. The fourth piece of evidence is covered with the law on the second page, dealing with at least one symptom reflects a 100% rating. Now I'm going to go through them. It's kind of small on my page here, and I do apologize. So I want y'all to bear with me. I'm trying to find a better way to read it here because it's kind of small. So if y'all got any more, I'm gonna put this here. Look what he said. Y'all read it in the chat, and I'm gonna try to get it where I can I can read this better. Please be patient with me. And I thank you for your patience. So give me a second here. I'm going to pull this up. All right. All right. I'm pulling up the law itself where I can see it better. Okay. Now I'm about to read it to you. Here we go. 38 CFR. Now, this is a different 30. We talked about reexaminations. See, because they can't give you no reexamination. That was the one we covered on page 1. If your condition is static, if your condition is not likely to improve, if your condition has been in effect for at least 5 years, remember those 3 things. Those were 1 through 3. Now we're dealing with the 4th piece of evidence. We're dealing with this law. So remember, the first 3 pieces of evidence was covered under the first law, reexaminations. This one is covered under the symptoms is covered under 38 CFR 4.130, schedule of rating mental health disorders. Now understand, this is all at the 100% rate. All the symptoms that I'm about to give you are at the 100% rate. Now listen, if you're 70% for post-traumatic stress disorder and you have any medical records that show these symptoms, you got a good chance of getting 100%. Here's the first one: total occupational and social impairment, meaning you can't work and you can't even function in society dealing with your family, friends, or in society, period. Now, due to such symptoms as, now listen, gross impairment in thought, process, and communication. What's the second one? Persistent delusions or hallucinations. Hallucinations are things that you see visually. Delusions are things that's in your mind and that you believe, like, that everybody you see is an Iraqi soldier. That's a delusion. Hallucination is something that you see. You saw him running across the street, the Iraqi soldier. Now, so far, that's 2 of them. Let's go other ones. You don't need but 1. Gross and inappropriate behavior. So like I say, if you're in the summertime wearing winter clothes, you're in the wintertime wearing summer clothes, or you just running around naked, and it's because of your post-traumatic stress disorder, that's part of it. Now, persistent danger of hurting self or others. Remember that. So if you're a danger where you somebody say the wrong thing, you go off on them, that's a problem. Or you want to self-harm, that's a problem. But your immediate situation, you're trying to do it. Now here's another one: intermediate inability to perform activities of daily living to include maintenance of minimal personal hygiene. You don't pass the smell test. You forget to take a bath. You don't take a bath. You come in there, you got all kind of stuff on you. Now, here's another one. A friend of mine got this one: disorientation of time or place. You somewhere, you don't know what time it is. You don't know where you at. All right. This is all symptoms at the 100% rate for not just PTSD, but also for any mental health condition for the most part, because the rating schedule is similar for most mental health. It's pretty much the same. Now, let's see another thing: memory loss for names of close relatives. If you don't know who your wife is, you got an excuse. Now, baby, I didn't know that wasn't you. Tell them, that woman, you ain't my wife, and this is not my house. You might get hit upside the head, but you know the deal. Now, that memory loss of names of close relatives, you don't even know your own occupation or own name. These are the symptoms at 100% rate. So I had to pull up another screen for that. Thank y'all for being patient. I hope y'all still there. Now, tell me if that information was pretty good. Were you able to hear me? Was I clear? Did it make sense? Let me know. You have any questions? Let's see what Kevin's talking about here. I mean, D-Law, Kevin, I'm working on the loan discharge as we speak. I got a loan discharge for about $32,000. And once they sent it in my packet when I got unemployability. But there was some people saying that you can get it less than 100%. That's what I think D-Law was saying. Now let's see what Kevin was saying about it. He's talking to D-Law. I might need you to help me, guide me with my claim. See, that's what we need to be, helping each other. This is a place that we come. This is a support group for veterans. An unofficial, because who's going to support us like us? Now let's see what D-Law said. Kevin, I had to get legal help for my VA Social Security cases. And remember, you were saying they don't even take 50% of your back pay. You said they take about 20%. Isn't that what you said, D-Law? And Kevin said, okay. Now, what is a Lima charge? What is that? I don't know what that is. Now, tell me, was the information was that information clear enough for you? Does it make sense? Let me know. Put a yes or in for no. I have no problem because we want to make sure it's straight. Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. Now let's move on. Look, we on the 3rd page. And y'all go over this, and you can find out whatever your condition is, find out what is the symptoms for the 100% rate. All right. If it's for your back, they have a rating schedule. Let me put that in there in the chat. Ratings, find out the rating schedule for your condition. Find out the rating schedule. Okay, let me write that down. Now, let me ask y'all this while I'm doing that. Y'all answer this question. What document lists all of the conditions you're diagnosed with at the VA? What document lists all of the conditions you're diagnosed with at the VA? This is a quiz from the other day. And if y'all remember what that document is called, it's 2 words. Let us know in the chat, okay? And I'm going, what was it? What I supposed to make a question about? Oh Lord, I forgot what I supposed to make a question about. See, I got PTSD. My memory ain't what the quarter. But let's see. Yeah, problem something. You got 1 word. Kevin got it. So he said problem. OB say problem something. It's problems list. Great job, Kevin. Great job, even for Tribe OB. Now, I was talking about this up here. What was I talking about? I forget. We've read most of the document. Y'all may not realize it. We've read most of the document. Now, here's what we're going to do. All right. Can I get SSDI for bipolar rating at the VA? Now, that I don't know. I'm sure if it causes you to be totally disabled, is there a list of conditions that Social Security will give you, pay you for, compensate you for, D-Law, or anybody that has Social Security? Now, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go back and read this here. Now that we've read the law, we're gonna see what the doctor said for Mr. Brown. And does what he has line up with the law? Let's see. Compensation and pension psychologist. So this is from a compensation and pension doctor. So they got to take his word because that's the one that the VA send you to. This is after the green part, okay, right below it. Compensation and pension psychologist, PhD, Nate R. Turner Jr., in the section labeled symptoms, describes the claimant's PTSD symptoms. And when it says section, it's talking about from the DBQ, of course. In the section labeled symptoms, remember it's important to have the symptoms, right? Describes the claimant's PTSD symptoms as gross impairment in thought, process, and communication. That's the first one the doctor says, and it's quoted from the doctor himself. And the second one, persistent delusions or hallucinations. Now, do you see how I have it highlighted in black up there, that those are the 2? So that's what you want to show the VA. Hey, the doctor say I have this here. And here's the doctor's quote. And look at my medical records. Here's the quote on this page. Submit a part of it with the supported claim form. And they could. So these two symptoms qualify veteran for a 100% rating. Now, so this gives them the 100% rating. What gives them the permanent rating? Now, let me ask y'all this. Do y'all remember? So if the symptoms give him the 100% rating, what gives him the permanent rating? Okay, we got somebody. Let's see what is. Think about that. Remember, we just talked about on the other page what makes it permanent. It's two or three things. Remember over there? What was that one word? Begin with an S. If the condition is not likely to improve, what is it called? It begins with an S. You can't. You're not moving. What is it called? Now, what D-Law say here? Evan, Google mental health condition for Social Security. That's a good thing. He says Social Security has me for PTSD, depression, anxiety, and mood disorder. And D-Law got it. The word is static. That's the key thing right there. So when you have symptoms at the 100% rate, that's what makes you 100%. That means you're totally disabled. What makes it permanent? When they say your condition is static, that's what gives you the permanent part of it. The total part of it in the T, that's come from here, where you got the symptoms at the 100% rate. That's what permanent and total mean. Permanent part is that it's static and not likely to improve. The total part of it is that it's at the 100% rate. You can have a total rating and it not be permanent. A temporary 100%. You can get total rating of 100%, but it's not permanent. So also Kevin says static. Now we getting there. My OB say static. We got James in the house, and Kevin I might say, okay. And also James says static. Now here's the thing. That's why you need to understand the terminology. It's important to understand what permanent means. Permanent means it's the first three. Permanent means the first three things that we talked about in the evidence. One being, number one, static by showing no change or progress. That's what the P in permanent total stand for. P, permanent, that's the first part of it. Another thing that makes it permanent, persists for at least 5 years without material improvement. So not only is it static, it also persists for 5 years and stay static. Huh? You feel me? Now the third thing that it persists for 5 years, now we're gonna cap it off with saying it's permanent and not expected to improve. So it hadn't improved in 5 years, and now going in the future, in the third law, we saying that most likely it ain't gonna improve in the future. So you don't need to send me for no future exams. Bam, let it go. Now, that's what makes it permanent. But what makes it total is the number 4. At least one symptom reflects 100% rating. That's what makes it total. Total mean paid at the 100% rate. Permanent mean is static, that you've had it for at least 5 years, or it means that it's not likely to improve. If you can get a doctor to say your condition is not likely to improve, that's going to make it permanent. Let's say you got IU. If you can get a doctor to say that you got the symptoms at the 100% rate that we discussed on number 4, and you get them to say that your condition is either static and it's persistent for 5 years. It don't have to persist for 5 years. You can get it without it persisting for 5 years. Or it's not likely to improve. These are the buzzwords you want from the doctor. Remember that word, static, static, static. That's a permanent rating. Now, didn't we go over it tonight? Now, let's see what our brother's saying here. D-Law say, Evan, I was denied twice, and it took over 2 years. Is that for your Social Security, D-Law? Now, static is platinum level. I like the way that Kevin did that. See, this is what you're trying to get a doctor to write on that paperwork. And you ask them the question. You don't tell them, you have it in the paperwork. Doc, can you put down whether my condition is static or not? Let me know. You don't tell them to write static because they have to give their own objective medical opinion, but you present this information. Doc, is my condition, so the first number one, what is the first one? Doc, is my condition likely to improve? Then he gonna put quotes just like there's quotes up under Mr. Brown there. And you hope he had a quote that use the buzzwords. And he'll say something like, his condition is static and likely to improve, not likely to improve, or it's not static. If he say not static, don't turn it into the VA. Don't turn it in. Only turn in the stuff that in your favor. Now, and you say, Doc, my condition has persisted for 5 years. Don't you have records showing that you've been treating me for the same condition and with little progress, I've had little improvement? Let them say that. Then the next thing, Doc, do you think my condition is likely to improve in the future? There you go. That's the third one. Permanent, not likely, expected to improve. You need the doctor to say whether he believes your condition, the prognosis on it, that going forward, whether you're going to get better or not. Are we breaking it down or not? I hope so. Yes, SS, Social Security Disability, that's what you're talking about. Okay. Now, I hope we've been putting some good information out here. Y'all let me know in the chat if I'm making sense. Now we on the last step, y'all. See, I told you, look, we've been on here an hour and 46 minutes, but we've been going through this and we're getting smoother. The longer I'm able to do this, the better I'm able to manage these things. Now, let me see if I have any questions to ask y'all. Now, I want to ask, for those of you that are in here, what percentage range is your goal? And we're gonna I'm gonna pull that back up in a second. We're gonna go over the request. I'll do this one in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, I think we talked about it earlier. Now, the fourth thing is your request. Remember, first is the focus. The second thing is to get your evidence together. The third thing is to back your evidence up with VA law. The fourth thing is to make the proper request. You got to tell the VA what you need. If they don't know what you need, they can't give it to you. What does it say in the Bible? You have not because you ask not. If you don't ask for it, how can you get it? They can't read your mind. All right, let's see. Let's see what he requested. So you ask yourself, just like Mr. Brown, what are you requesting? What do you want from the VA? A Hundo Club. He say the Hundo Club. Okay. Let me put that. I guess I'll put the question up there then. Okay, let me put that question up there. Give me a second. So we're gonna do what you requested. Let's finish this up, and I'm gonna go into it. We're gonna go back and answer that since everybody's in. We've got a few more people in there. Now, so request. Now, at the bottom of the form, follow me on here, okay? Follow me. At the bottom, he started telling what he wants. This is what Mr. Brown is doing. He put the evidence together. He laid it out. And then at the bottom where you see the red writing, the arrow too, what are we requesting? The first thing he says is number one, permanent and total disability rating of 100% for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, you know the permanent part because it's static. The total part because he has symptoms at the 100% rate. Is it starting to make sense now? Now, let's go back over that so it makes sense. Permanent and total disability rating of 100% for post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, to include, this is key, you make sure you write this in there, to include no periodic examinations be scheduled. You better tell them you don't want no more exams. And guess what? Mr. Brown asked for it, and we're going to see whether they gave it to him or not. The next thing you need to ask is for your dependents to be eligible for Dependents Educational Assistance or Chapter 35 educational benefits. I know some people say, well, that's mandatory. No, you tell them everything that you're supposed to get at that 100% rating. The third thing is that your dependents be eligible for CHAMP VA healthcare for your dependents. You need to handle that. All right. Now, okay. I hope. Okay. Now, where y'all at? Okay. So let's see what we got going here. We got a couple of comments. Now, tell that woman what you need. That's right. So let's see. I got to go back up here and see what y'all talking about. Yes, it's helpful. Yes, very helpful tonight, H-Town Vet. John, you always come in and encouraging me, man. If you took my woman, I wouldn't be mad at you. You all right with me. I give y'all a pardon gift, man. You all right with me, John. Now, she's a headache anyway. You wouldn't want her, man. Here we go. Outstanding information. Thank you. You know, I just want to make sure I'm putting that 100%. He said he want 100%. That's what he's shooting for. He want, and then we got Kevin say, I want to be in the Hundo Club. There you go, 100% P&T. Now, D-Law, I want you to put P&T on there, or TDIU, which is P&T also. Make sure you get that. You make sure you put that P&T on there. Okay, tell a woman what you need. Now, here we go with Angel. Angel, I am 90% from my first claim. Now I expect a permanent total from my current claim with SMCS and SMCK. Now he knows the terms. So when we start talking about this, so what's the name? Dawson D-Law said he want that, but he knows what he asked for. I'm gonna get to you, D-Law, but he knows what he's asking for. Now, why don't you go for unemployability? Angel, do you already have unemployability? Or you paid at the 100% rate already, even though you're 90%? Because I'm gonna tell y'all, it's hard to get 100% once you got once you got 90%. It's hard to get there, but it's not. You can do it. He says brain hurts. Okay, let us know what you mean by that, my OB. Dawson say he want that TDIU. Now, if they give you that 100% permanent total scheduler, straight up 100%, take that too. Now, D-Law, special monthly compensation. Now, I don't know if that's going to hurt your claim, but are you working right now, Angel? If you're not working, you need to apply for IU, individual unemployability, because what they're going to want to know on that form is the last day that you work. And if you're still working, you can't really qualify for IU if you're working, because it's based on you not being able to work. So let us know if you're not working. You need to go get that IU form. Let them know if y'all, anybody in the chat, know the form number for IU. I don't have it right now. I do have it, but you know, I'm in the middle of this live stream with these wonderful people. I'm glad you told us that. Now, let's see what went going on. Now listen, this is a real case. So this don't mean that Mr. Brown won his case. What do y'all think? All right, I want to know what y'all think. I'm gonna put the banner up there. Was the claim approved or rejected? What you think happened for Mr. Brown with the evidence that he submitted? Because that don't mean the VA approved it. Let us know. A Y for yes and an N for no. Everybody participate if you can. Let us know. Okay, so James think he won. Let's see. Let me see. Let me start up here. So he say, I haven't worked in 3 years. You need to file for unemployability. He say, because in Florida, let's see. So James think he won. D-Law say approve. Angel say yes. What about self-employment? Well, you got to understand, it complicates things. It's easy to fight from a position that you're not working. You can put somebody else over the business for a minute. You can be doing your little thing, but you know, you need to be in a sheltered environment. But even with that, it's easy. They gonna want to know the last day you work. They say if you're working, they might say, well, how you not able to work if you got your own business? So you just gotta, we'll talk about that. He say, James think he wanted, approve would be my guess. This is what John say. High level review status for Kevin. Okay, let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Approve or reject. We about to see. He got approved. Now, where do you look at? Now, I want you to look on this form. I'm gonna have to pull up a larger version of it because of the way my screen is. So let me pull down the banner. Let me pull out the banner. Let me hide that. Let me pull down the banner so you can see the full screen. He was approved. Now, let me read what happened. All right, let's see. Give me a second there. Y'all look at it. So the way, let me get there. Now, so if you look on the first page, okay, what the decision was. Now, let's kind of follow me here so you understand. We're going to go to number 2 first. So follow me. I know you say, why not talk about number 1 that's in blue? We're going to get to that. Number 2, evaluation of post-traumatic stress disorder with depression, which is currently 70% disabling, is increased to 100% effective August the 15th, 2014. That means that's the total part of his condition. You know, the T, the P and T, that's the T part. Now let's go up top. It don't say nowhere over here that it's permanent, do it, in a decision. It does in a slick way. Follow me. Number 1, basic eligibility to dependence educational assistance is established from August the 15th, 2014, which is the effective date. Now, this is what they're trying to say to you. Follow me if you're getting me. They saying that if you're actually getting the dependence education, they saying you're permanent. They're going around the way and still saying you're permanent because you would not get Chapter 35 educational benefits or CHAMP VA. They might even put CHAMP VA as number 1. That's their way of saying you're permanent because you wouldn't get that benefit for your dependent unless you were permanent. So they're letting you know in the first 2 that you're permanent in total. Do that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Now let's go to the second page. Now remember this supportive claim that we just went over, the supportive claim form, they consider it as evidence in making this claim. Look at the second support, the one that's in blue at the top of the page, the second line. VA form 21-4138 statement and supportive claim received September the 3rd, 2015. Bam. Why did they receive it? Because he went and got a stamped copy. He signed it the same day he submitted it. This is what you're going to have to do. So they used this in making this decision because they didn't have to look through all your medical records. You can't trust them to look through your medical records. You show it to them, and then they got to go confirm it. Now, here we go. He say that award letter is platinum. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Now, this is decision letter. They don't call this the award letter. They used to call it the award letter. It's the decision letter. Watch our videos to know the 3 types of compensation letters. The notification, the decision letter, the decision letter tells you whether you got approved for what you're looking for or not, whether your claim was approved or denied. The notification letter tell you what benefits you get if you was approved. The award letter is the letter you get every year, just giving you a summary of your benefits. You feel me? Now, you read over this information, all of it, but we're just going to cover the ones highlighted in blue so y'all can follow me here. Now, follow me here. Go down to the number 2 on page 2, right where it say in blue. The evaluation for post-traumatic stress disorder with depression is increased to 100% disabling, effective August the 15th, 2014. Date appeal was received. So that was the date it was received. Sometimes you can get an early effective date. That means they're going to give him his back pay from this date, August the 15th, 2014. Now listen, they heard that Mr. Brown said. Listen, they heard. They say this is considered a full grant sought on appeal. So they saying you ask for these things. You ask for all those 3 things. You want a permanent total. You want a Chapter 35 educational benefits, DEA educational benefits. You wanted CHAMP VA, and they gave it all to you. So they're going to give you what you want if you qualify for it, if you put the information right. Now go down here and look at all the symptoms that they put. Now they got other symptoms too that you're not just going, but look at the ones at the 100% level. Gross impairment of communication. Now this is a powerful one. Occupational and social impairment with deficiencies in most areas, such as work, school, family, judgment. You have bad judgment, thinking, or mood. You got bad moods. So have your family write supportive claim letters for you too. They can use that same form, to say, hey, my husband be arguing with me, talking about he want to have sex. Then when I want to have sex, he don't want to have sex. And then he say he think that I'm trying to kill him. He jumps up in the middle of the bed and he be thinking he in a war again, having all these nightmares and flashbacks. Documented. Your children say you be in the backyard popping up tents and stuff. Now, look on page 3, persistent delusions. Let me ask y'all a question. If a person is having persistent delusions, can they work? If a doctor says in their evaluation of you that you have persistent delusions, tell me what job. Is there any job that you can work at? Let me know. Anybody know a job that you can work at? Can a person work if they have persistent delusions? We're on page 3. Now, let's move down to the other highlighted parts. These are the main parts. Difficulty in establishing and maintaining effective work and social relationships. Remember, so it's not just not being able to work. You can't have social relationship with family members. There may be family members you ain't talked to for years. Huh? Now, the overall evidentiary record shows that the severity, now this is the key thing, the severity. See, once you're service connected, all you worried about is how severe. The most severe, the more they have to pay you. Let me read that again. Difficulty in establishing, let me go. The overall evidentiary record shows that the severity of your disability most closely approximates the criteria for a 100% disability evaluation. Remember, severity deals with the severity of symptoms. Which one covered the symptoms? Number 4, remember that? Tell me if y'all can hear me. I don't know if y'all still here. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I guess y'all can. Now, let me make sure. Okay, y'all should be able to hear me. Now, here we go. This is the highest scheduler rating allowed under the law for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now they gave you the highest thing that you can get. Go somewhere and sit down. Now let's see where we're going from here. Let's continue. So that's where we at. Mr. Brown wanted 100% permanent total rating. At the beginning we talked about, he focused on his evidence. At the bottom with the question mark, with the glasses, he organized his evidence. Then VA law that supports the evidence. And the last thing, he requests supported by evidence. His request is supported by the evidence. All right. Dude, I can't hear you. I can't see what you're showing. Too blind. I think it's just kind of small. I'm gonna try to start making it bigger. That's why I'm reading it to you. Sorry about that. Now, here we go. At the top, claim approved based on the evidence. This is an evidence-based claim. Remember, evidence-based claim. Now, let's see. Oh, you have an eye condition. Do you know they have a blind clinic? Do they have one in your area, my OB? They have a blind clinic. I talked about that in one of my videos here at the H-Town Vet. They have a blind clinic. Find out if they have one. It helps people with vision problems or that are totally blind. You need to go over there and tell them you need help. And don't take no for an answer. I don't care what they tell you. Now, let's see. We did that. Now I'm going to go back. You wasn't here earlier, John. Low vision. Okay, low vision. Now I'm going to go back. Here we are. Now, here we go. Looking at the chart. For those of you here, we're going to kind of close out on this here. Looking at the chart, VA disability range of percentages. So I have them marked as different ones. I have the low is 0% to 20% ratings for VA. Where you fall at, where y'all fall at? And for those who didn't get the answer, some did answer early. If you have a moderate, just say moderate. If you're between 30 and 50%, you don't have to tell us. You can just put low, moderate. If you're considerable, meaning you between 60 and 90%, let us know. If you have a high rating where you have a temporary rating of 100% or TDIU, let us know. Now, the ultimate rating, that's the last one to the right in black. That's 100% permanent total or TDIU, which both are permanent ratings. Now, any questions, any statement, any last statements? Because we've covered the information. I really enjoyed this tonight, and I appreciate y'all. Anything, give our final shout outs. Give me some ideas of things that you would want the H-Town Vet to cover going forward. Are there any topics? So I'm gonna write this up. What topics should we cover? What veteran topics should we cover? Something that you're interested in live stream. So I'm gonna add banner. So let us know before we get out of here. What should we cover in live streams? So let's see what we got here. So somebody said somebody said first claim form struggle to see. Okay, and think I'm gonna make them larger in the future. Okay, my OB. I apologize for that. Next time I'm gonna have them blown up pretty good. Now let's see what James says. Low, he had low. So you between 0 and 20%. Okay, let's see what John say he has. So either he has a temporary 100% or IU. Okay. Kevin say the other topics he want to talk about. File secondary claims. Okay, how to file secondary claims. All right. Now let's see what James say. Cover non-PAC claims. Give me an example of what non-PAC claims you would like. Are you talking about Camp Lejeune? Are you talking about the other one? I forget what base that is. Let us know. And if you want to talk about secondary claims, or what's the one you real good at, D-Law, the ones dealing with they not called secondary claims. What they call, D-Law, they call presumptive claims. All right. So we're gonna keep this here in mind, and we're about to conclude. So you can give your final shout outs. We will schedule. We've worked out our technical difficulties. We will schedule our next live stream. I might change them up a little bit based on what we're doing and what we're covering. But we should have our next. Okay, Kevin said file TDIU. Now, Kevin, we have a video on that. Okay, watch our video, TDIU. There's a video on that literally covers TDIU. It's a little battery, a little like orange battery. Look it up, okay, in our video library. So I want to say good night to everyone. Go and give your final shout outs. Let everybody know. Peace to the family. And we're going to see you on the next one, okay? So thank you for joining us. I ain't going nowhere yet till y'all. Let's see. Bernie, he's back in the house. Can you cover your opinion on the GUARD Act? Anybody know about the GUARD Act? So before we get out of here, we got to see if anybody have any questions. Put your questions. Anybody, I'm going to look that up, okay? The GUARD Act. Anybody know about the GUARD Act? Now let's see what Mo B saying. Next step by step to get service connection before I'm done. I'm older. Okay. Depending on your age now, OB, if you real old, if you're over a certain age, I think 75 or so, that they'll expedite your claim. If you're dying of a terminal illness, they'll do it. Okay. They say veteran topics should cover online stream. Oh, that's what I said. Okay, good night. James say good night, H-Town Vet. Well, good night to the family. Kevin said yes. And let's see what John always. Thank you, H-Town Vet. Do you have an email address? Yes, it should be in the description. And look under there, it should say H-Town Vet. When you go to my YouTube channel, go in the description. If I didn't know what a description was, contact me in the chat on my YouTube channel, and I'll send you the link there. Okay, because I have to figure all this out. Oh, that's where it is. Fort McClellan claims not covered in the PAC Act. Fort McClellan. I got a friend. Okay, I'll definitely get that email to you. But John, email me in there, okay? And on my channel, go to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. I think you already did. And where you say you can send me a message, you know how everybody chatting, do that there. If not, I'm going to put it in the chat the next time we're here. Next time I have my email address ready. It's a law that stopped claims sparks. Okay, never heard of it. Superfund-based sites not covered in the PAC. See, that's what we need to know. All the things that's not covered in the PAC Act. We'll do. Okay. All right. Well, this concludes our broadcast tonight here at the H-Town Vet. And we want to thank you for commenting, and we appreciate you for everything. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Good night.